whey protein shake. Finish off for breakfast. Like I said, this is my jump start meal of the day. First meal of the day, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Bodybuilding is an art and your body is the canvas. Although sculpting and bodybuilding may come across as two completely different processes on the surface, the art of sculpting clay and concrete and the art of carving muscle actually mirror one another. Great sculptors sweat and labor in the day ritually, adding and subtracting materials to create what they believe to be the ultimate aesthetic that expresses their ideals. This isn't too different from the work of dedicated bodybuilders, many of whom spend hours on end to convert their own veiny, chiseled bods into a transformation of the most beautiful version of themselves. Bodybuilding is no child's play. It demands unimaginable feats of endurance by pushing the human body beyond its capacity and an adherence to strict dietary protocols. For bodybuilders, their body is their temple, and they pay daily homage to it by pampering it with just the right amount and type of food and balancing this with specific exercises. Designing the right type of diet and exercise plan which suits a body type is a combination of the scientific and creative approaches.
5.5 weeks out from Mr. Olympia.
Cheesy.
For bodybuilders, their body is a monument to their life philosophy, and it speaks for their personality louder than words ever could. Ronnie Coleman is not your average human. Case in point, this is the guy who stopped taking steroids cold turkey and felt no side effects. And in case you forgot, he also squatted 800 solid ass pounds like it was nothing. A legend in his field, Ronnie Coleman was one of only 2 men to ever have been 8 times champion of Mr. Olympia. He is considered the gold standard of the bodybuilding world and the unrivaled barometer of judging bodybuilding perfection. This body was not a chance happening, but the result of a lot of planning and hard work. Loads of discipline and tears went into building this objet d'art. The diet designed to create this artwork was a stroke of genius, customized to help Ronnie's body reach its pinnacle, and the genius in question was Chad Nichols. Let's take a look at what a day of eating meant for this legend. This day is one of many for Ronnie, but it is significant since he is just about 6 weeks from a major competition. He has tweaked the core elements of his diet plan by adding a second round of cardio exercise and has made his diet more fuel-centric than excitement. The purpose is to shred his body fat down to the bare minimum and get that dry onion look so coveted by bodybuilding aficionados. Having spent a grueling full day at work is not going to keep the king from getting his daily dose of exercise, and the treadmill is getting a little love from this champ. Chad Nichols has a strict diet plan in place for Ronnie, and this champ is playing for keeps without any complaints. Only disciplined athletes like Ronnie can endure the monotony of this diet. Its highly repetitious nature is focused on necessity rather than pleasure, but Ronnie does not have the champ stamp for nothing. He has the patience of a saint, and never cheat and never complain is his motto. Starting his day by eating 3/4 cups of grits and 80 to 90 grams of a protein shake at 7 in the morning takes grit and determination, which this professional has loads of. Ronnie has the approach of a scientist and believes in weighing out and measuring to the nth degree in his determination to stick to his diet plan like glue. He is preparing for the next round of Olympia competition, and currently sticking to a low-carb week is geared towards limiting his total carb intake to 200 grams per day. 6 days of grueling exercise combined with a minuscule carb intake will be followed by 1 cheat day. This cycle will be repeated up until D-Day.
Chicken, corn, beans,
And cornbread.
Round 2 at the trusty treadmill for an hour is just another hill on the way to a mountain peak. Bodybuilding is much more than massive men and women standing in front of a crowd flexing and posing. The human body is perhaps one of the most impressive and difficult to modify structures found in nature. It is much simpler to grab a brush and canvas and create a portrait of a landscape or an animal than bodybuild. In bodybuilding, you have to grab a dumbbell and a bench and go to work. It's not an art form that takes place over the period of a week or month. It is a continual process encompassing 24-hour days for months and years. It takes a tough exercise regimen designed to push the limits to achieve the pinnacle of perfection with a body like Ronnie's. Midday breakfast is no feast fit for a king for this champ. The simple fare he is preparing is not for the faint of heart, since fortune only favors the brave, and our champ is the bravest of them all. Ronnie has the discipline of a drill sergeant, and he's going to ignore that pantry or die trying. This concoction looks absolutely vile, but Ronnie is made of much sterner stuff, and a tiny thing like unpalatability is not going to turn him green at the gills. Obviously, he eats for his stomach, not with his eyes. Cheese is landing here to achieve the twin purposes of providing flavor with an added kick off protein. Food is just a milestone has to cross on the way to his destination, which is 5 weeks away. Scrambled eggs, nestled in goo, cooked to perfection with a generous spray of cooking oil, is his luxurious breakfast, accompanied by absolute manna from the heavens, a cup of joe. He has plans of keeping to 285 pounds of pure muscle on his huge frame, which is a feat in itself, and it doesn't come by chomping on pizza and fries. He intends to bag this competition, and he's going to keep his eye on the prize, regardless of distractions. This gruel is going to provide him with only those nutritional components which are specific requirements of his body. Ronnie is making no bones about his food. Like a trooper, he is a willing martyr for his goals, and food will not dictate his destiny. The only thing his coffee is going to be accompanied by is a sack full of supplements and not chocolate cookies and pies. Armed with capsules of all manner of designs and brands, the champ is gulping down countless pills, which are quintessential to providing a stellar defense to his body. This comes along with an army of body-repairing nutrients to combat the effects of wear and tear, which is par for the course of bodybuilding. He has a veritable pharmacy laid out on the table, operating out of a tiny pill box, with no one the wiser. This is a tiny package with big value, since it costs a pretty penny to buy these meds, which are not available on the usual racks for common folks. The king of bod has a heart of gold, besides a banging body. These neatly packaged glossy posters are proof positive that this champ is a scientist at heart and a true professional by the way he likes to divide his day into neat little segments. Each segment is dedicated to a little bit of his life, and his fans take precedence amongst the essentials of his day. All it takes to sign a pic is a stroke of a pen, but this champ's signatures mean the world to his followers, and he does not scrimp on his encouragement. A signature might look like a small thing, but it would be a big deal to a person with a small stature but big dreams. 3:15 p.m. has rolled around with the first hearty meal of the day for Ronnie, which is lunch at the Black Eyed Pea restaurant. A man after my own heart. He's having one chicken breast with red beans and rice, kernel corn, and a couple of slices of cornbread and water. This might look a tad more appealing to the run-of-the-mill onlooker like myself, but to Ronnie, it is just one step closer to his destination. Ronnie has come a long way since the documentation of this day and left a remarkable legacy for generations to follow in his footsteps. Many have tried, but none have reached the heights of his glory, proving that he was a true champion of his art. A day well spent indeed.